Hi guys, it's Mark here from Newbie Prepping. So hopefully you can hear me. Well, I know it's been a while, and wow, a lot of things have happened in the world. You know, so I'm not going to go over everything what's gone on. There's been times when I wanted to get out, but I just couldn't. And I left all the links below of all various topics. If you're interested in them. Obviously, like the online safety bill, what went through, and things have started being implemented on that. And you see that with Lilly. She's a survivalist over in, I'm going to get this wrong, Belgium or Austria, something like that. Really good channel. Really covers a lot of things. And she's noticed that she's been banned or taken off of Twitter or whatever it is now. I might actually get the platform wrong. If I have, I do apologise. But it has been happening to other people. There's a lot more people being blocked from saying things or being striked. Even this channel's been striked. Well, not striked, but we've had a warning about some of our content. And even though you've got the evidence to show it, what's going on, the powers that be don't like it. Don't like too many people knowing. So, well, there's obviously one thing I would like to for you to do look at and follow the links below is the new lot of robots that are coming through. Now, I know I spoke before about AI, and robots again is not so much a concern for prepping wise, but they can be used obviously offensively as well as defensively and in certain fields. I do feel that robots will be used a lot more in the world. Obviously it's progress there we're going, and I remember the Dagenham Ford plant when it went switched from manual like from humans over to robots assembly line. Yes, it was only like a robotic arm and they still employed people, but there was loads of job losses. And with the new robots being able to pick fruit and do stuff on the farm, obviously Amazon's got its own shop where it's got other very few staff just to help manhandle stuff around, but you won't see any staff in the actual shop itself. It's all done by AI or sensors to see what you're picking, like picking off the shelves, sorry, and it's automatically deducted from your account as you leave. But it does seem to be getting a lot more technology, more robots are being used in the future. Sorry, some words I just can't get my tongue around. And one of the links is to Neil McCoy, I think it is, where he says that India, the government in India, have even warned their students about coming to England because of the crime rate. I feel that it's sad to see that crime rate is on the rise, and police just not bothered. They sooner go after people saying the wrong pronouns or saying things what they believe is true, because it's an easier arrest. You know, if you offend a couple of people, you'll be arrested for it now, because it's easy for them, instead of going after the criminals where they have to do a bit of legwork, investigate and be in harm's way. I understand they don't want to be in harm's way, but at the end of the day, it's their job. They took that job, and to not go after knife crime in the cities and violent behaviour, instead of saying, we're going to avoid that, but this person put a nasty meme on Twitter or on Facebook. Let's go after him because it's a point in our monthly or yearly total. It's wrong, you know. Obviously, it's November. Obviously, the cameras are slowly moving down. So modern technology again. But as you can see, there's no frills, there's no intro, it's just me again. Obviously, you got the 15-minute cities. You left. Oh, Mr. Khan, what are you doing? You know, and obviously you've seen the backlash where people start taking the law into their own hands. You know, I think that the powers that be just want the money, penalising people, making them poorer. But you know, that leads us on to obviously Ukraine war, and now obviously the war in Israel and Gaza. So obviously I did say in the past that obviously Putin wouldn't use nukes, and saying nukes is obviously, I think I've used this link before, but it's NukeMap. If you want to see like the average area fallout of nukes, obviously it's preset to 1 kiloton, or I think it's kiloton, but the average, the normal missiles what America uses is 120, so you need just to preset it to 120 to see the proper radius and fallout. And if you go by that, I know Russia would have probably tested you know, a lot higher, but it'd probably be in that region, I would presume. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but it'd be a good indicator of where radiation will fall, blast zones, stuff like that. But it's coming into winter, and it will be like a bit of a standoff again in Ukraine, just like last winter. I don't think Russia would try voluntarily give up territory which it can't protect, and it will just carry on to spring again, where obviously Russia would have been entrenched in more, Ukraine would have got more funds, obviously by next year they'll probably have the F-16s, so the war will just continue on. But with the war in Israel and Gaza, that's potentially more of a threat. There's more of a chance that other parties would get involved. And obviously, there's reports of American troops being on the ground now. So, you know, there's some links below. There's the Enforcer. Pretty good YouTube channel. He covers the war in Ukraine and now Israel and Gaza. It's sorry, the wind blew. That's my note, by the way. And it's a good channel. They do try and check all their sources, where they're getting it from. And it's a channel that I would recommend. It's in the links below. So, what else? Obviously, with all the war going on in Israel, obviously you know about all the protests every Saturday so far. Yes, it's right for them to protest. Sorry, nearly again. I'll put my arm there. It is right for them to protest. But they also got to show respect for where they're living, I feel. And I don't think freedom of speech is both ways anymore. The police say they're doing arrests, but if that was a right-wing protest march, without a shadow of a doubt, the police would be in in riot gear with the shields, batons, and they will be pulling out people and arresting them. there's a couple of channels to watch. Mahyar Tousi TV, Jeff Taylor. Again, links all below. Another good YouTube channels. They are more conservative, but they do criticise. So that is one thing for you to browse through. They upload stuff 3 or 4 times a day. The Enforcer uploads twice a day, and one's a live stream. But for us, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But getting back to marches and the war, this one could potentially lead into a world war quite easily. Obviously, with all the terrorist groups, and they are terrorist groups fighting Israel, backed by Iran. It could lead a wider war going on in the Middle East. You know, it happens. You know, every century there's a major war. You had the Napoleon Wars, you had the World War I, World War II, and now we're only waiting for this one, for this century's. It's a shame. I think the wind picked up. It's a shame. The only people who really profit from war is big tech, the weapon manufacturers. You don't see them find their profits into demine areas, which they should be accountable for weapons, unexploded bombs and stuff like that. They made them, but that's never going to happen. They don't care. They will make them, and they will make them, and they don't care how they get used, really. It's only if there's an arms embargo, and then they will probably try and find ways around the arms embargo from many countries, and say, well, we sold it to this country, we can't help them selling it on. It's amazing how terrorists do get certain weapons. And then there's always some people just want to make a name for themselves. Well, my dad done this, so I need to do something better. It's a shame. We just can't live on the same planet peacefully without getting involved in religion, without getting involved in politics. What can I say? That's the pagan inside me. But one of the things that has come about I think on the 13th of October, so it was a few days after obviously Israel, October, was a new party has been registered in England, and that is the Islamic Party? Yeah, I think it is the Islamic Party. What can I say? That will be the date where democracy started to go. And I say that, I don't care. I think that our freedoms of speech have been whittled away. We can't speak our minds. With this party forming, they will get MPs at the next election, without a shadow of a doubt. Labour will lose their MPs, because if you think of London at the moment, there are some boroughs where it is largely Muslim, or largely Muslim, and they will generally go with their culture. If the head of the family, their dad, says you will vote this way, just like how old times, generally people will vote the same. Their children and wives and that will vote the same way. And if they vote for the Islamic Party because they feel it's the right way to go, they're the ones who are going to have the majority vote. So I know they're going to win seats in the next election. So you can get that from me now. I think that is a major thing to be concerned about, because I don't think all Muslims would vote for the party thinking that they're going to get Sharia law or like a reform to the way English law runs today. But quite a lot of Muslims will go to a Shia court instead of a British court, and you will find that just like in Afghanistan now, after the Americans pulled out very successfully, they made the Taliban made hints that they would have a form of democracy, that they would allow girls to carry on with an education, that would allow them to go to university, would allow them to carry on working. Check for yourselves. All that stopped. They first of all made it illegal for girls to go to secondary school, and they kept them in like the preschool, and they said they can still go to university. But if you take out secondary school, how are new girls of that age going to get the right qualifications to go to university? They're not stopping them, just the girls are not getting into university now. But now they've just done a complete ban. Even told some women to find relatives who can do their job because they've been slowly pushed out. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, it's conspiracy. You can look it up yourself. It is happening, and I know the Taliban is the extreme, and I presume the party what's been started up here is not like that. I hope it's not like that. But once they start getting more and more seats, and it looks like they could be infiltrated very easily, and the leader of it could have extreme motives behind him, and once they're in power, they will change the laws, because they would all vote the same way. They're not going to have rebels or backseat members of parliament, if they've got the majority, who are going to go and vote against them, because they know what would happen if they vote against their own party. It's not like, oh, we're going to give you the whip. They certainly would give you the whip. Do you know what I mean? It's and obviously I can't name names because I don't know names, and this is just what we've seen in other countries. And the LGBT plus whatever it is, if they get in, your days are numbered. You'll be crying for the right wing to come to your aid. But at that time, the right wing was saying, look after yourselves, we've had enough. We do not want to know you. Fight your own battles. You had the glory of the good times. Now you're going to be suppressed with a ultra extreme government if they win. Now, obviously, I'm choosing words quite carefully, and that's why I'm stumbling to make sure the words are right, so I don't upset anyone particular. But if Islamic party get in, Islamic people do not like the LGBT crowd. And they will be outlawed, I suppose you would say, criminalised, just like how it is in quite a lot of countries. Even Turkey, who's put a part in NATO, they still don't really tolerate gays and LGBT teams, and they're part of NATO. Now they want to be part of the European Union. Don't know why, but they do. So I think that it's a sad day. It's been a bad few months for mankind, and unfortunately we're coming into winter. It's going to get worse. The governments are just putting putting your thumbs in thumb screws and tightening the knots, tightening the screw to get to help their paymasters to get as much money out of us as possible. You know, if you look at petrol now, petrol's going up, back up. Media's not covering it. And what's the reason there? You know, is it because there's a war in Israel? That's why the petrol's going up. Oh, I forgot about the war in Israel. You know, that's why the petrol's going up. Funny, it was going up before that, but they weren't covering it. You know, I mean, it's gone up by 10 pence, and I know you're saying it's only 10p, but it went down to like 144, and now it's up to like 155 to 150, 154, 155. It makes a difference. And I didn't see any of the food companies put the food down when they said, oh, food costs more to transport. So it went up. That never went down. It stayed the same. You know, because people get used to that sort of prices. And that's the benchmark now. You know, it's just like with global warming. I'm sorry, guys. You all go back to saying, oh, in the 60s, these temperatures are, you know, well, in the 30s and 40s, we had high temperatures. You forget about them. But enough said about global warming. It is a shame that no one can just be happy in this world, you know. And it leads to channels like this to be prepared. You know, we're coming into winter. Make sure you get like, obviously, in Northern Ireland, so we still have log fires. I feel sorry for the mainland. It's being outlawed now. It's a shame that the government can't just be happy leaving people to get by and we make do enough now because of all the stuff that's been imposed on us, you know. And just because some people say, oh, this is bad, well, what is bad is some of the people in Parliament. They're bad, you know, because they talk waffle, they don't really speak for the people, and they're just speaking, hoping that when they leave, they get a really good job with their paymasters. And I know they're going to say, oh no, it's not true, but look at Tony Blair. You don't see him in a little 2-bedroom